Hey guys, Counterpunch Boxing. How you doing, YouTube? Okay, I put out a video or a couple videos about Canelo Alvarez and who he would be fighting next. And right now, again, it is all over the map. I mean, we thought for sure we're going to get the Canelo Alvarez and the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. Well, apparently Chavez said he will not entertain the childish demands by Golden Boy and Canelo. Chavez offered about 6 million to fight Canelo. Well, according to Chavez, Canelo is wanting 4 to 6 times as much. Okay, so he's wanting upwards of 21 million guaranteed to fight Chavez. I mean, Canelo has mastered the art of avoiding, ducking, handpicking his career. I mean, that is insane. This guy wanting, a guaranteed around 20 million, 20, 21 million. And maybe that was kind of a hidden, I don't know, insult towards Pacquiao and the 20 million, all these guys out there throwing the number 20 million around. But, it's crazy. I mean, this guy, man, he never ceases to amaze me. I mean, when is he going to step up and act like a fighter, act like a boxer? I mean, especially being the keeping that Mexican tradition. I mean, these guys are warriors. They're known for warriors. I mean, I watched. Probably 4 or 5 fights over the weekend. Amateurs, Golden Glove kids. Some of them, a lot of them were some, young Mexican kids coming up. And man, these guys, man, they just had the heart of a lion. I mean, in that ring, it's unbelievable. And I'll put some of this sparring footage up on the channel. But so yeah, I mean, it looks like Canelo is now avoiding, ducking. I mean, whatever the hell you want to call it, Chavez. Okay, so look. I want to break a few things down. Okay, Canelo makes as a standard price about 3.5 million per fight. You go back to any fight, even let's go back to say Kirkland, for example. Okay, the James Kirkland fight. Okay, now that was at Minute Maid Park. I was actually there covering the fight as press, and it was Canelo Kirkland. Okay, the attendance, they had about 48 to 52,000. So let's say roughly the final number I heard was 52,000. Okay, uh, now the average breakdown, like that each person spent, was about $94. Like the cheapest, even the nosebleed tickets were like I believe they were right around $48, something like that, after the fees and all that. So that they're saying basically on average out of 52,000 people, the average individual spent about $94. Okay, when you break that down, so it's basically take 94, if you have 94 people, times 52,000, and it's around 5 million. Okay, roughly 5 million. Not that big of a payday. Okay, but then that's your live gate. So basically your live gate is around 5 million, somewhere in there, if my math is correct. Okay, then you have the TV rights and the merchandising, the vendors, the sponsors. So on that Kirkland fight, I estimated Canelo probably made, I don't know, man, probably I'd say around maybe 7 million tops. Okay, because like I said, he's guaranteed 3.5 plus. Okay, and it wasn't a pay-per-view. Now if it was a pay-per-view, he makes a lot more, and we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, but and look, none of this even matters, honestly. The point is, I mean, he's pricing himself out. He's wanting a guaranteed 21 million to get in the ring with Chavez. And here, another thing I just don't understand. Oh, and by the way, Chavez is saying, you know what? I want a guaranteed 6 million. Okay, I mean, it's like, why are these guys like throwing around all this, insane demands? Okay, now in the Fonfara fight, Chavez made 2.5 million. Okay, Fonfara actually made like 400,000 in that fight, which is kind of crazy. I would think he'd be worth a little bit more than that. But yeah, Chavez made 2.5 million against Fonfara. Okay, and now we got Chavez saying he wants a guaranteed 6 million. Okay, now if you go to the Dominic Bridge fight, Chavez's last fight, he made about $4 million. Okay. Uh, so for Chavez to ask for like 6 million, I don't know. I mean, after that lethargic, performance, especially against Rays, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess he looked a little bit better in the Dominic Bridge fight, but after that Reyes fight was terrible. I mean, he was putting me to sleep. And actually, in that fight, the attendance was like 9,400 people that night, all of them booing him. I mean, I'm sure you go, but if you didn't watch it, it's kind of funny. Go back and watch it. 94, nearly 10,000 people in attendance that night, live in the crowd booing Chavez. In a 10 round like snooze fest, right? So. Chavez, like I said, moving on to the Dominic Bridge fight, made about $4 million. Okay, so you got Canelo. Now, I want to get into the pay-per-view in just a minute and kind of break down how this pay-per-view works for you guys, because there seems to be like a lot of confusion out there about how a pay-per-view event works and where how the money is chopped up. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you exactly how a pay-per-view event is chopped up, like from a promoter standpoint, a fighter, and the network. Okay, and there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to a pay-per-view, but the main the main players is the network, being HBO, Showtime, whoever, the promoter and the fighter. I mean, those are like the three big, the money makers right there. But then you have, of course, all the bottom feeders. They make a ton of money, and so you got to really look at it like that. But we'll get into that in just a minute. All right. So now, as far as Canelo, ducking Chavez, I mean, yeah, I think he is. I mean, the guy's, what, he's a light middleweight at 154, bumping people to become the one or the number one contender for Saunders, right? We remember that. And then they're talking about, oh, maybe, he might fight the Charlo twins, a rematch with Arizona Lara, blah, 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 right? Okay. Then, oh, wait a minute, now he's moving, but, he needs to acclimate. He needs to acclimate to middleweight, so he fights Amir Khan. He fights Amir Khan in January. Let's see, it was January, March, April, in May. I believe May of 2016. Let's see, Amir Khan, a light welterweight that had 3 fights at welterweight to acclimate to middleweight at a catchweight to defend the middleweight belt the middleweight belt that he won from Cotto in November of 2015. All in order to acclimate for the Golovkin fight, but he needs his acclimation. But then what does he do? He takes Liam Smith September 2016 at light middleweight as an acclimation fight. He can't quite make middleweight, but yet he is negotiating with Chavez at a catchweight of 165 pounds, 5 pounds above the middleweight limit, for a Chavez Canelo fight. So wait a minute, back up. Okay, so he can't. Let's see. He needs to acclimate to middleweight. Okay, all right, got that. All right, Oscar. Okay, all right. We're gonna get So just go ahead and buy the Canelo Khan fight. Put out your money, buy the Canelo Khan fight. It's acclimation. Then he goes on to fight a light middleweight. Okay, I guess we are still acclimating. He can't quite make middleweight, but then they're gonna jump in to a damn near a super middleweight fight at a catchweight at 165 pounds. I mean, what the hell? We all know Canelo comes in as a light heavyweight. I mean, if you don't know it, then look it up. Do whatever you need to do. The guy comes in as a light heavyweight. Okay. But look, as far as Chavez, I think a couple 2 to 3 million, the guy should take it. I mean, this would be a huge opportunity for him, and plus they're talking about doing it. They had a potential May 6th date. They want to do it on a Mexican holiday. I mean, come on, you got Chavez and Canelo Alvarez. I mean, it would be a huge thing for Mexico and a huge moneymaker. I mean, why would they not want to make this fight? If they could, okay, if they could. But look, I think the real problem. I think that they're worried, they don't want to put Canelo in there at 165 pounds because they know, then the whole Gennady Golovkin thing will pop up. Okay, well, the guy can make 165, but he needs to acclimate to middleweight to fight Golovkin. Like, everything they do, they're just constantly contradicting themselves over and over and over. Okay, now, And by the way, I want to kind of go over Chavez's record real quick. I mean, 52-1. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, Chavez, we give him a hard time, but 12-16, he had a win over Bridge. Okay, it's okay. 7-15, Marcos Reyes, another win. Okay, lost to Fonfara in April of 2015, and then before that, remember going all the way back to September 2013, Brian Vera, he won that fight, and of course September 2012. Fought. Just look at the pattern though. You can see where he started going downhill. It was about 2012. Okay, he had one fight in 2012, Brian Vera. Okay, I'm sorry, that was 2013. One fight in 2000, another fight in 2012 against Sergio Martinez, lost. Okay, and remember he kind of made a comeback at the end of that fight, and he looked pretty good. Okay, another fight, and then Andy Lee, 2012, and then of course the Marco Antonio Rubio fight in 2012. So my point is, three fights in 2012, one in 2013, and then two in 2015, one in 2016. So what the hell? Like, what are these guys doing? It's like they're both a mess. I mean, to me, it's kind of like they're like they remind me of that show. Where it's like rich or the rich kids, the rich billionaire kids or whatever that travel the world and spend mommy and daddy's money. I mean, that's exactly what these two guys remind me of. Okay, I mean, it's just like they I don't know, man. They're babied, they're pampered. I mean, come on. I mean, look Canelo. I mean, even the catchweights with Canelo, starting back in 2014. Okay, you got Angulo, Lara, Irizlandi Lara, James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, and then Smith, of course, at the light middleweight. But he had one, two, three, four, five fights in a row at a catchweight, at the Canelo weight. I mean, the Can't-Elo weight. I mean, this guy is such a bitch. I can't take it anymore. And I still want to put out that video I keep telling you guys about, where I spent a few days with Oscar De La Hoya. Well, not just Oscar De La Hoya. I spent a few days with the entire Golden Boy promotion, Canelo Alvarez, and all of them when they had the fight in Minute Maid. Now, granted, that was back in last year. It was about a year ago, but still, I mean, I learned a lot. I mean, I went to dinner with these guys to the Hard Rock Cafe. I went, the open media workout. We went around to like different grocery stores and like did meet and greets and crap. So. I just got a good inside look at Golden Boy promotion, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo, all of them, how they operate, how they think. And I mean, Canelo is a product. It's like, in a way, I feel bad for the guy, man, because I mean, Oscar De La Hoya, it's like, he drags him around like he's just a product, like he's a almost like Nike shoes, you know what I mean, or like Adidas or Converse, like it's like he is a product for sale, and that's how they treat him, But Canelo is well aware of that. I mean, he's young, but he's not dumb. He might be a little bit dumb, but not dumb enough to not realize what is actually going on, in his own world. But look, let me break down the way pay-per-view works, because there seems to be a lot of confusion out there with you guys, and I think I'll put a video out about this later. Because people don't understand the whole idea of a purse and a split, and where does the pay-per-view money go. I mean, basically, the basic breakdown as far as money is concerned, 10% of the money is to the distributor, which would be HBO or Showtime, okay? That leaves about 45% each for the cable company, and then another 45% for the promoter. So basically, when you see a price tag on a fight, you know that the promoter will get about 45%. An example. All right, let's say the fight is like $50, right? You order a pay-per-view, it's $50, okay? If it's an HBO pay-per-view that you're watching, HBO, they're getting about 10%, okay? So in other words, if you pay $50, HBO is going to get about $5 off the top, and the promoter will get 45, or I'm sorry, 22.50, and the cable company will get 22.50. So just to go over it again, so let's say you pay $50, right? The cable company, they're getting their little 10%. They're getting $5, 22.50 to the promoter, 22.50 to the cable company. Like if you have Comcast or AT&T, whoever you may have. So, or to even simplify it, just forget about HBO. It's about half. Okay, the promoter gets half, and then the cable network, they get half. Uh, so if you have a fight, like let's say a fight does a million pay-per-view buys, right? Um, HBO, let's say it's HBO, they're going to get about 5 million, and the promoter will get about 22.5 million, and the cable company will get about 22.5 million. And that's with a million pay-per-view buys. Now if you have 500,000, you simply break that number in half, okay? It's just simple math, guys. So that's how that works. I don't want to get too far into it. Like I said, I'll make a video about it later because everybody thinks like let's say there's like the Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez, let's say, I can't remember what it was, but let's say it's close to a million. I know it was up there. Like I said, Golden Boy Promotion, they walked away with over $22 million, okay, for that. And now that's not counting your live gate. Now remember, in the beginning of the video, I went over the live gate. If the place can hold about 52, say 50,000 people, that's about another, 5, 6 million, okay? So now you're up to like 30 million. The point is, guys, these promoters are making a shit ton of money. A ton of money. Even on a week 300,000 pay-per-view buy, it's still a lot of money. And remember, that's with a $50 price tag, okay? And we all know most pay-per-view buys are 59, 69, somewhere between like 60, $70, okay? So you gotta I just gave you the $50 number to make it simple, okay? So you just pretty much half to the promoter, half to the cable provider, and then of course HBO gets their little 10%. And that's where the money goes. I have all these guys telling me like, no, the promoter gets all of it and HBO gets half, and then also, the promotion company like Top Rank or Oscar or Golden Boy, they get half. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not how it works. HBO, they get 10% of your money. On a $50 pay-per-view, they get $10 or $5, whatever the hell it is, 10%, $5. So that's how it works, guys. To clear up the confusion, and like I said, I want to make a video later of, where does all the money go? Because there seems to be a ton of confusion. Now, I don't know, guys. Who do you want to see Canelo fight? You know what? At this point, I don't even give a shit. At this point, I simply don't care. It's almost like, even the Gennady Golovkin fight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but it's like, this whole let it marinate thing. They're ruining the anticipation, the excitement. It's putting people off, and here's the thing. Again, you got to remember, they're not letting things marinate. They're ducking, they're dodging, they're avoiding. They're trying to wait Gennady Golovkin out. They want to see him slipping. They want to see him going downhill. Possibly lose. And I have some other really big news about Gennady Golovkin. This is huge news, actually, and I'm going to probably make a video about it real quick in a minute, like a 5-minute video. But finally, Tom Loeffler, Gennady Golovkin's manager, he has finally come out with a game plan because, I've said it for years. I'm like, man, they need to change up their game plan. And so they've kind of laid out a blueprint, laid out a map for Gennady Golovkin, the path that they want to take actually over the next, like, they said from 2017 to like 2019. Which is, really encouraging, meaning that Gennady Golovkin's going to be around for a while, and they have some really good plans for him, and I like it, I agree with what they want to do. But I'm going to cut it off there, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the whole Canelo situation and clear the air about the pay-per-view buy thing. Do you think Canelo is ducking Chavez? Was it all for like publicity? Kind of like this whole Soldier Boy and fucking what's his name? I don't know, woman beater. I can't even think of his damn name right now. The hell's his name? Breezy. I don't know. I forget his name. The other guy. I don't know. I don't even care what his name is. But I think I might make a video about that too, because the sad thing is the whole Soldier Boy fight and God damn it, what's his name? Chris Brown. There we go. Chris Brown. Soldier Boy Chris Brown, Mayweather Promotion, TMT Promotions. I might make a video about it. Like, I might devote 5 minutes to it just to bitch about it because, I mean, that's so ridiculous. But the sad thing is, it'll probably get like a million pay-per-view buys. I mean, you got to kind of hand it to Mayweather on one hand because that everybody's going to want to see it. I mean, seriously. And it's going to be the dumbest. It's going to look like I don't know, like a bunch of schoolgirls in there, slap boxing. It's going to be boring as hell, and it's going to be a waste of money, but people will love it. Don't get me wrong. People will love it. So anyway, guys, look, like, share, subscribe. Sorry I made the video too long. There's just a ton of things to go over. I've noticed when I make them shorter, I get more views, so I might start trying to tighten up my videos. But anyway, guys, Counterpunch Boxing, we are out.